Hi everybody, Dr. Bill Crawford here, psychologist, speaker, author of 4 books, host of 2 PBS specials. Here today to give you another tip on creating the life you want. Today I'm going to talk about our tendency to define ourselves based on how other people or situation affect us. Have you ever said, man, that is so frustrating, or that person is so annoying, or so exasperating, or that situation is so stressful? I think that's understandable, but the problem is what we're doing is we're defining us by how another situation affects us. Now, I want to be very clear. I understand that probably it's very common for everyone to have experienced some situation in the past that we reacted to with annoyance or resentfulness or stress or anger or frustration or even exasperation. But there's a difference between saying, I found myself reacting with exasperation to that situation in the past versus that situation was so exasperating or that person was so annoying. I think one of the things we want to do in our attempt to really have as much influence over our lives as possible is to make sure we're defining and using words that actually reinforce our ability to influence our own experience of life. And the truth is, what happened was some person said something, we didn't like it, we interpreted it as exasperating, and we felt exasperated. But it was that interpretation that created the response. The analogy I like to use is, what if you were touring a mental hospital or like a long time ago in an insane asylum? And you were walking down the halls and there were people kind of looking through the little windows, kind of calling you names and saying things that you didn't like. You wouldn't feel exasperated or annoyed or angry or resentful. They wouldn't be able to make you feel that way because you would understand that these people are not kind of, all there. They're frustrated, they're insecure, they have problems of their own, and therefore you wouldn't allow them to define you. I'm going to encourage you to think about that in the future, especially with those people that you might find yourself interacting with on a either regular basis or even infrequently. Rather than saying this person is so exasperating or that person is so annoying or that situation makes me so angry or is so stressful. If instead we said, I think I'm aware that in the past I may have interpreted that particular situation in a way that triggered my annoyance, in a way that had me feeling angry or frustrated or resentful, and frankly, I don't want to feel that. That's not who I am. That's not what I would recommend to someone I love. Now, for those of you who have followed my Life from the Top of the Mind philosophy, you know this interpretation comes from this middle part of the brain, the limbic system. It's the part of the brain that acts as a scanner, a processor, and a router. So it scans incoming data, whatever somebody says, processes it or interprets it a certain way, and then routes it either down to the brainstem or up to the neocortex. When it routes it down to the brainstem, when it interprets it as a threat, or a big problem, or something that in the past has been problematic for us, then we get frustrated, angry, stressed, resentful, annoyed, depressed, whatever. But it's not that person making us feel that. We don't want to give them that kind of power. It's this middle part of the brain that's interpreting what they're saying as frustrating. Instead, if we can see them as maybe coming from that lower 20% of the brain, maybe they're doing something or saying something that they don't mean, or even if they mean it, maybe it's really more information about them than it is about us. Certainly, we have the ability to interpret it any way we want to. So I would encourage you to begin to start getting skillful at this concept and this process of interpretation. You're choosing interpretations that allow you to create the experience you want, the life you want. It's not that we don't take other people's response, even if they're negative to us. The negative response is good information. We might go, have I said something or done something that has in some ways resulted in that? If so, I probably want to apologize for that, take responsibility for that. However, that's different than they are frustrating or they are annoying or they make me feel a certain way. I hope you're enjoying these videos. I'm having a wonderful time bringing them to you. If you like them, this is what I do for a living. I go around the country giving presentations to groups and organizations around dealing with stress, difficult people, leadership, customer service, and I bring this new philosophy on how the brain works to all of my presentations. If you think this would be valuable for your professional association or your organization, please go to my website, billcrawfordphd.com. Hit the contact button, let me know what you're interested in, and I'd love to speak with you about that. If you want to work with me as a psychologist or a life coach, whatever you want to call me, I kind of work in both areas. The same thing, go to the website, billcrawfordphd.com, hit the contact button, let me know what you're interested in. Also, I do encourage you to hit the like button if you indeed are enjoying and liking these videos. As you know, Google and YouTube pay a lot of attention to that in terms of how they recommend these videos to others. So I'm encouraging you to look at this process of interpretation. In the past, it's probably gone on outside of our awareness. We want to bring our clarity to that, our awareness to that, so we can ask ourselves the question, am I interpreting this situation in a way that serves me? In a way that allows me to define who I am, and in a way I would teach to someone I love. In the meantime, here is to you, bringing more clarity, confidence, creativity to everything you do, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.